And this is Isaiah 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Kal halal Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Hashem, or Kwakadash, double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the brothers on down, teaching, preaching, pushing this gospel. Good news to four corners of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. Greetings also to the few sisters that tune into these video epistles and call this lesson prophecy. Arrows of the Lord's deliverance. That's our deliverance, our power, whose name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai. We are the true children of Israel. We've woken up to who we are, one of the great mysteries that's been revealed in our time. Likewise, the identity of this man calling himself the white man, the oppressor in the earth, the hammer of the whole earth. In the scripture, he's known as the Edomite. And he's just preparing, he's doing the will of our power. Just like everything in the Most High's movie, you can't stray from your lines, your role that you've been given in this movie. And the hopeful elect, we're getting ready to be delivered if we're one of those people. And it's going to be, as the scripture says, very strange and spectacular deliverance actually happening within these arrows of what? What's these arrows? It's the intercontinental ballistic missiles. It's the nuclear nightmare that's just about to be made a reality. And within that is where the deliverance is going to take place. Talk about spectacular. Don't have the words of what's getting ready to happen. So we just got a few of the scriptures here. There's so many that points to this. When your eyes have been opened, you follow behind the great teachers that we've had over the years who've been out there doing this work decades and decades. And so we're learning all we can from them. And so the eyes are being opened as to what this is all about. You read about these wars, rumors of wars, and then this final culmination that is about to take place. You flip the pages back and forth, line by line, and you see this being spoken about in the Bible how many different times in different ways. And we get an example here in 2 Kings 13, 16, and 17, speaking about bow and arrows. And we're likening this to what is getting ready to happen here. Just look at this. You'd have to read the whole of this chapter here as Elisha was falling ill and was given instructions. But let's just get two of these verses here. 2 Kings 13, verse 16. And he said to the king of Israel, put thine hand upon the bow. And he put his hand upon it, and Elisha put his hands upon the king's hands. And he said, open the window eastward. And he opened it. Then Elisha said, shoot. And he shot. And he said, the arrow of the Lord's deliverance and the arrow of deliverance from Syria. This phrase got me. I was reading this earlier. And likening it to what's getting ready to happen here. The arrow of the Lord's deliverance. Where I've taken the title of this lesson from this phrase here. And the arrow of deliverance from Syria. For thou shalt smite the Syrians in Aphek till thou have consumed them. That's to say, destroy them. And although this is a different time and a different period, we can still use this as an example as to what is just around the corner. The Third World War, the third woe, is already started. And it's just going to escalate and escalate. And so what's got to happen first? What is already happening is this word is going out. It's cutting like a two-edged sword. Actually, let's get Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit. That's how sharp it is. And of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. In the Hebrew, that's the lab, meaning the mind. This is cutting. So this word is going out. And the devil in the earth, calling himself the white man, he's been exposed. He's the man of sin, that man of perdition, lawlessness. This book of law is not for him. Every law that he comes out with, scripture says, I think it's Isaiah 10:1, is unlawful, unrighteous decrees. He's totally in opposition to what's in the book. So he's been called out first with this word, and the evidence is piling up and up and up, high to the sky, of this man's wickedness. And he's about to be judged by these arrows of the Lord's deliverance. And scriptures say his indignation, which is righteous anger. We might have that here somewhere. Isaiah 13, let's go from 4 to 6 to begin with. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. It's coming, it's coming. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as destruction from the Almighty. They are about to be visited. The earth is already being visited. Behold, this is verse 9 of Isaiah 13. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners out of it. Getting ready to make a move. Verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. That's this ruthless man running up and down in the earth with all his weapons. He's a thug and a bully. He's the one that's got to be removed from power, and all of his systems dismantled and laid to waste. Let's get some more. I think we had verse 15 here. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the swords. All of this man and the Edomite, so-called white man, who heads up this list, the confederacy spoken of in Psalms 83. We often go to that. 17 nations, all against the children of Israel. And a bunch of our folk have, unfortunately, it's their role in the movie to join themselves unto this man. They're desperate for crumbs from his table. They've got their consolation now. Let's get Jeremiah 49. Let's go from 20. Jeremiah 49, let's get a few verses here. This is repeated. Let's get a few of them. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord, that he had taken against Edom. This man calling himself a white man is the Edomite in the scriptures, and his purposes that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, that's those people in our land calling themselves us, the Ish people, you know the ones. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Bozrah. What's the modern day Bozrah? It's the headquarters of this man, where he puts out all of his madness, all his philosophies, the lies and deceit. What man? It's this man calling himself the white man, the Edomite. The modern day Bozrah is America, Babylon the Great. Bozrah is an ancient city in Israel, but this is their new Bozrah, where they put out the foolishness that they've got the whole world following after, and spread his wings over Bozrah. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. It's likening this period as if a woman was about to give birth, absolutely helpless and in pain and in agony. Jeremiah 50. Let's go from 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. What's the Lord's heritage? It's his people, the children of Israel. calling us bywords, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, your blacks, your Hispanics, wetbacks, speaks a whole bunch of derogatory terms. And you can't call yourself by your own nationality. As someone says, oh, I'm offended. How can you say you are you when I'm you? It's a ridiculous argument. Where were we? Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls, your mother shall be sore confounded. Who's the mother of these? Who birthed these wicked people? They came out of the UK, out of England. And so this is their mother. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land and a desert. This speaks to Babylon the Great, which is America. It's going to be desolate because of the wrath of the Lord. It shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. They put it in their movies. They know what's getting ready to happen. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourself in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she hath done. Do unto her. You're going to get it. It's coming to you. Let's just get the last few here. 51, let's go from 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, which is America. Those who can't see it, you're not supposed to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. See, the ambushes are set up. This man can't see it. It's a trap. He can't move to the left or right. He can't go backwards or forward. He's just got to carry on with the madness, and it's going to lead to his own destruction. That's all he's about. Death and destruction. Let's read verse 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasure, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. There isn't a set of people in the earth more covetous than this man. He doesn't want anyone to have anything. He's so greedy. There's a scripture, I think it's Habakkuk, that he's never enough. He's never satisfied. Let's wrap up with Jeremiah 23, 7 and 8. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. We're not going to be speaking about that anymore. But the Lord liveth, because which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country. Where's that? It's the Americas, specifically Babylon the Great, America. That is where the destruction and the deliverance of the children of Israel is about to take place. Let's read it again. The Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land, which is Israel. It's not yours, it's ours. You have no business over there, and you're about to be removed. And that place is going to be rebuilt after the destruction. But Babylon the Great, the north country, that's going to be laid desolate, not to be inhabited ever again. There's so many scriptures that speaks to this, but we can't do them all. We'd be here forever. Let's keep it short. You've been listening to Prophecy, Arrows of the Lord's Deliverance. Shalom to the next lesson. We don't fear no God. No, sir.